Welcome everyone to the Talk to Me United podcast, the podcast about Manchester United tactics. My name is Andy, and on the opposite side of the screen is Ali. Ruben's Haram Ball United won the 2023 League Cup runner-ups Newcastle 0. That's shade for taking pictures in your tidy whities anytime you beat us since then. We will break down the goals, go through the tactical setup, the stats, and look ahead should Ruben continue with this fluctuation of formation. So if you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, give us a comment. We're filling it on our TikTok. Ali and I were just talking about our TikTok page and all the engagement we have there. Keep it up. We're enjoying all the feedback and stuff. So again, like, subscribe, drop us a comment, let us know what we can do better, etc. So with that being said, Ali, how are you feeling after the Boxing Day fixture?
Yeah, man. Only Boxing Day fixture. Pretty decent. Clean sheet, man. Oh, it feels good. It feels good to have a clean sheet, See, Ruben copied Arsenal a little bit, went six at the back. But yeah, man, so many players are out. I didn't have us winning this one. I thought we'd get a draw, at best. I guess it's more about the result than the performance. Interesting that we went back to, back four, kind of like a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. Nice to see Dorgu get, a goal. I'm just so annoyed because I had Dorgu on the bench on my FPL team and he racked up like 17 or 18 points and I'm livid. Because I kind of swap him in and out, but I cannot believe. And I had Heaven as well because he's like 3.8 million. He's really cheap, and he got a bunch of points as well. But they're going to be in my team for Wolves. So, um, but yeah, back to the game. Yeah, that second half, man, that was very defensive. They're worried that Mount was out. No Bruno as well, so I think it was more about the result, and I think Cunha is just gonna have to have a lot on his shoulders going moving forward. I thought he did a couple of impressive things. I like Sesko as well up there, but yeah, just I think it's more about the result than the performance. Nice to see that we can win ugly. And my boy Heaven. See, this is what happens, man. This is what happens when you give young players time. Yes, we can criticize him like here and there, and he's not had the best run in form. But you learn from your mistakes. He doesn't play in the middle of a back three. I guess this side this time he was on like the right of a back four. I don't know. I think he's more adept to playing the left of a back three. But he played well, man. Leacher as well next to him, did okay when he came on. But yeah, man, I'm just, you got player of the match, Aiden Heaven. So gassed for him, man. Like, it's nice to see, what is he, 1 million from Arsenal? Like, just got to give him time. You got to, like, allow the young players to make mistakes and not to, put such a, microscope under their bad performances. So nice to see a couple of those performances out there. Yeah, and we're looking decent in the table. It's still early, but the next run of fixtures, I didn't see this one coming down for a win. So it's kind of sets us up nicely. What are you thinking?
So finally, Manchester United proved me right with regards to we needed a gritty closeout win. That's why I was like, I thought we would have gotten it at Bournemouth, 4-3, close it out and stuff, because it's like we need a win we need a win out like dirty, close it out to show that we can do it. We can take 3 points and stuff and just doing it and doing it with the kids because that's a lot of that we had in the second half that made us look so like we lacked attacking depth and we can talk about Xerxes later on of like pretty much he's given up on this team because he didn't hustle and bust his ass or anything like that or press, in that second half when he came on for Sesko, but that's a different day for a different story. But I thought we were playing well in this fluctuation of like a literally was a 4-2-3-1 most of the game. What it also highlighted to me is that Bruno is a problem, and if we have better sixes and eights, we would not have the issues in the midfield in any setup. So you can be 3-4-3, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, whatever formation you want to do out of the back, not doing a back three, but out of the back four, whatever you want. We need six and an eight, and it's quite funny that yes, we were getting cut up by Newcastle. It was quite good seeing that, Ugarte and Casemiro were playing close together, like we said last week, playing together alongside of each other, keeping and it brought stability. Yes, we got caught up. That's a different story for a different day. I think that's more of a personnel issue, but just the philosophy, the idea that if you have your six and the eight roaming together, staying in that straight line, it could bring stability in terms of bringing the ball back, bringing the ball forward, and then when defending, it keeps you compact. So I just thought those were good things to see. In terms of Mason Mount, he did want to come back in the second half, but Ruben and everyone said no because they don't want to lose
Mm.
anyone more further. So that was kind of also the decision. But ever since like when Mason Mount came out, and since we don't have like a true number 10 in that role, and then, I remember when we talked about this in the beginning of our podcast about how if they were to switch from a back three to a back four, it's going to be expensive because we don't have any true quote unquote wingers. We have Cunha playing as a winger, but it's more like an inside forward. And because we don't have Brian, etc., everybody's like lose a depth. But we need that winger. Like if we had a winger to take where Cunha is and Cunha could be in that 10 spot, then we would not have probably seen all of that defensive mishap in the second half. But like you said, results matter. 3 points is 3 points, no matter how we got there. It's just finding ways to win, build that confidence so we could go on a run and see what can happen. I'm not giving up on the league yet.
But we got 5 losses, right?
We got 5 losses, 5 draws, and then it's pretty much like 4 games
Right, but
from
you
the
but
top.
you said but you said if we had 5 losses, we're not going to win the league.
I said more than 5 losses.
More
So
than
we're
five
at
losses.
five. We're
so
at
so
five
we
right
gotta
now.
go like invincible. No, I think yeah, the league table is looking decent. I think what it really showed in that second half is yeah, we just don't have like a creative player to be able to control and dictate the tempo of a game. Yeah, and yeah, look, we can all say Ruben, he doesn't wanna not Ruben, but like Bruno, he is a problem, but he's just so effective in that final third without Mason. Like Cunha and Mason need to stay fit. They're gonna carry, especially for these next 3 games. You need to get maximum points over these next few. I mean, we got Brighton in the FA Cup as well. Like
Right.
needs to be maximum. It needs to be wins. I do just see like creatively, there's something lacking. Brian's gone. Ahmad's not there. Bruno's not there. Even Mainu would help in he wanted Christmas off. Probably wanted New Year's off. Um,
Is he gonna go to strip clubs like what's it called? Boy FC Jack Grealish? You haven't seen that story? It's like
I mean, Grealish is. I wouldn't put anything past Grealish, but yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just such a shame because I think Mainu would have added, a different dimension to us right now. He says he's injured. I'm not really buying it. I want to be completely honest. But yeah, Mason Mount is definitely so critical to the system because he could be that number 10, and he can also just drop in deeper and have a midfield three. But yeah, I just think defensively, nice to see that out, man. No, it was like nervous, man. Like that last section of the game, I watched it and like I already knew the result, and I was just like, oh, this makes sense, man. Like you back 6, back 7 at times, and I was just like, wow, just seeing them close it out, clean sheet is incredible.
like you said, we're taking dark arts from Arteta.
Yeah,
Haram
yeah.
ball.
I know. I mean, listen, when all the halal players are gone, you're gonna get Haram ball, bro.
That is true. That is big facts. That's big facts up in there. Because you know what? I was watching that game yesterday, the Ivory Coast Cameroon, and
Oh, yeah.
bro, everybody's cooking there. And you know what?
Hamed goal.
Baleba hates Brighton. It's confirmed. I don't care. I
Oh
don't
my
care about
god.
don't no. I really do not care about his form this past 4 or 5 months in the Premier League. I could care less. The boy can ball out. He balled out for Cameroon, bringing the ball out, working extra hard and stuff. He just hates Brighton. Like Brighton just dropped the bag for that. So I would not. I would love him to be a Manchester United player as a six.
Yeah. Oh
So
wow. Okay.
and then
Yeah.
Ahmad
Yeah.
scored another worldy goal yesterday, so he's on
Yeah. He's
fire.
doing well. Yeah,
So
yeah.
haram ball. Sorry, not haram ball.
It's
Sorry, halal ball. Sorry, we gotta go for halal ball right there. Sorry, we
yeah, it's yeah, it is just nice to because clean sheets like you don't have to win well. I mean, there's a few teams here. Villa have always scored by the won by the odd goal. Arsenal have been keeping clean sheets up until now. They're the two teams that are above us. City just have shooters from like every position, everywhere. With Semenyo, going there as well now. So it's just like, they can kind of outshoot you. But the other teams, they have to be a bit more pragmatic, and it's quite it's interesting, isn't it? Because the system is creating chances, the players aren't taking them, and now that a big section of that player of the creative nature of that system is gone, he now has to be a bit more pragmatic. With that, I think we'll breed somewhat of a familiarity with some players that have played 4-2-3-1. Like you normally play that growing up, right? Normally you still 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. So it's an easier system to know. Oh, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of games because these next few games we're not going to be sitting back. We're gonna have to take the game to them, and that low block is what we've been struggling with all season. That's why Sesko is so important. Sesko, Mount, and Cunha. It's the team is there for you to go out and ball out, and you are gonna be the players that are gonna win us these 3 games. The rest of the team need to be solid. Nice to see Dorgu, play well as, on that right wing as well, man. What a finish, man. Incredible.
he's just
Technique?
like you said, he was just pissed that Cunha missed him on the back
Oh,
post leading up to.
yeah, yeah.
He just had goal. He just had goal in his eyes. Like,
The back post is always available in our system. Like, it's
right.
crazy how often that happens. And Luke Shaw did all right at left back. He did all right.
I would just say that it's like seeing because Patrick did play right wing. He's left-footed in Italy before he came, and the first game he played under Ruben, he was on the right wing and stuff.
Yeah, I was
And people
really
are like, "What the
confused by
hell
that.
is this?" So that being said, he was giving some good low crosses in the box, and some of them were very you know, tasty. So I want to see more of that. And, these guys go to the line and just find the cutback because we got plenty of people in the boxes to score these goals. So I'm very optimistic of where we're going with this. But I think you and I both have been in agreement that the system is fluid. I think, everybody keeps focusing on the score, on the starting lineup and what's on the stat sheets of like, oh, the formation on the starting lineup is a 3-4-3. Oh no, what is he doing? But then when you go into different phases of the game, it's like you're in the back three, you're in the back four, 4-4-2 pressing, 5-4-1 when you're, defending for your life. And then, there were some glimpses in the play where he was playing like Ten Hag and Ali of having Ugarte out of all people dropping in to the center backs and playing in between or even on the left side of Martinez and Heaven. It was also quite weird. He's playing 3 left center backs, like left-footed center backs,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's still working.
Yeah, we had a lot of left footed players out there with Dorgu as well. I mean, we're missing our 2 best left footers, which is kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
right.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, yeah, I think people get bogged down on formations. Like, there's a difference between formations and systems. You've got to adapt in game. I think I mean, Newcastle did that. Newcastle were a bit confused. I think like Ramsdale went down for some hamstring nonsense. I'm surprised we don't see more of that, to be honest, just to help the players like rearrange themselves. But yeah, I did think Newcastle played well, man. I think they unlucky not to get out there with a draw, but you have to take what you can get. And there's
It was
been so many times when we should have won the game or we should have drawn, and we didn't.
right.
So they do even out.
Yeah, it was because it's
Yeah,
good to see that Gordon, Wolf, and a few others just like missed their like shooting abilities because they were getting good
yeah,
clean chances.
yep,
They were getting clean chances in the box,
no,
top of the box, in
no.
the box, and it's flying high right, going over the post. So it's like it wasn't their day, and that's completely fine with us. 3 points is in the
Yeah,
bag.
exactly. So like when I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, we should have beaten Arsenal, we should have done this, we should have done that. But it's like, okay, well, we should have lost to Newcastle, or we could have drawn. But, if buts, maybes,
And that's
but we are where
stop
we
taking
are. And what
stop,
we
stop
fifth?
yeah, stop taking personal shots at me. Yeah, and what's it called?
No, it's not. It's everyone. It's me. I do it too. I'm like in my head. I'm just like, man, we could be level with Villa right now, but
We could have been, yeah, we could have been
it's
level with,
natural.
yes, especially
But
the games
yeah, it's
after,
just the table doesn't lie.
exactly, especially after international break, Everton, West Ham, like those were the chances. We'd be better. But yeah, we're on level on points with Chelsea, and then yeah, fourth place is Liverpool with 32, Villa 39, and 42. Arsenal's on top. So let's see. So
Yeah,
any other thoughts before we go to the clips?
yeah. No, let's do it, man.
All right. So again, our clips are being presented by Huddle and Y Scout. We have partnered up with them to hit us up with all the clips or in-game stuff, so we can clip it for you guys to show it and to get our
So this is a opportunity from Newcastle, more so from playing out the back, just than showing our formation. They're passing the ball nicely, and see, this is the issue with a new system. You see how far Ugarte is right at the top of the picture here? Casemiro has two guys with him. And the way Newcastle play is they're constantly looking to get Bruno Guimaraes available. So Walter Made is playing as a false nine, and it also allows midfielders to push up. And that was causing, a big problem for us. So then when Bruno gets his, availability, he can switch play. And you can see now we're in our 3-4-3, like Luke Shaw and Dorgu high up, and then we've got the back three, and then we've got the two in the middle play against. So really good build up from Newcastle. I think this, definitely presents, a problem for us, especially when you have Casemiro sitting and Ugarte going. It's he's outnumbered. Would have talking about having someone a bit more mobile. I mean, Ugarte does eventually get back, but when Ugarte goes back, you're leaving Bruno. He is their playmaker. He's a quality player. I think he's one of the best midfielders in the Prem. So, yeah, just interesting how we switch back as well into that 3-4-3, depending on the press. So, yeah, that's just some build up and how they were cutting through us. Any thoughts on that?
yeah, I think we both agree. And you said before, we just need better personnel, people with legs to just overcome that and be aware with the spacing.
Yeah, I think it's better personnel. I think it's better understanding. I don't think Ugarte should be going that high up. I don't think it should be him, right? If excuse me, if Ugarte is where Mount is, I think it's a different story because it's shorter distance then, right? I don't know why he's going out to press that high. Um, but yeah,
I
it's
think
about coaching, huh?
I was gonna say maybe it's maybe he's pressing the man to man.
Yeah, but I just think because you will talk about when you want to sit like for me, Cunha come across and then somebody else come across, but like I don't like this. When I watch this, and we do it a few times. I don't like 2v1 in this situation for Cass. And you know what? I'll be real. Cass, his intelligence is incredible because sometimes he gets caught out, but sometimes he will anticipate something, and there'll be somebody free, and there won't be any trouble. The problem is when Bruno's in this position, he doesn't know when to anticipate, you know, which direction the ball is going to come and which angle to close down. But yeah, that's just like a personal thing I don't like because that's too easy, man. It's way too easy. That's because their number 9 is dropped in. So yep. So this is Dorgu's goal. Martinez, who was fantastic. I really like this from Sesko. And this is what happens when you play a 4-2-3-1, right? You got your 3 creative players right behind your strikers. And I really like this. I think this brings synergy. Backstick, man. Come on. And that's a hard ball to get through, but we always have that available. Essentially, throw in, heads it out. How about this for technique? Oh man, incredible! That is that's insane. Um, the way that nestled in, just great technique. Is Patrick Dorgu a winger? Could be, man. What are your thoughts on that?
Some better. No, I don't think he's a bad defensive player. I think he is more attacking than defensive at the end of the day, but then again, he's only 20, 21, so still not a finished product, but that was a worldy of a shot. And I know Newcastle was complaining that how Cunha was probably playing offsides and blocking Ramsdale in the face, but yeah, that was a clean hit. Good goal.
Yeah. It's the type of goal you would want in a 1-0, Right in. And you can see that he's supported in his midfield three, and you got the three in front of him. This, to me, is a lot more secure, right? If he doesn't get it, Cunha's there, and, Sesko, man, step over, has to go for side netting there, man. It's not a bad shot that he hits. He hits the woodwork, but man, and maybe because it's on his left foot, but he needs to go for side netting there, man. That side of the keeper. He's looking a little bit more sharper, Hopefully he doesn't get, any relapse of an injury or anything. But yeah, some nice to see him get an opportunity. And Ugarte really played well this game. I really thought, he played better and kind of righting some wrongs. So yeah, nice to the other thing that I just really wanted to point out was actually Cunha is back in the midfield and Fletcher's further forward. So that's why I highlighted them in red. So you're seeing a bit of fluidity there, and I think Cunha, he can play in that midfield as in like an attacking centre mid. He has that tenacity to get around the pitch. Obviously, he wants to go forward, but he's kind of similar to Bruno, probably not as creative with his passes, but more so with his dribbling. But yeah, he's very secure and getting back into midfield, which I like. I want to see that from the number 10s. What are your thoughts on that, Chance?
No, spot on with the analysis. I just also think that this is what we seen last week and stuff in the man-to-man press. And then now that you have like somewhat of a man-to-man zonal, and then you have, like I said, you have your 6 and 8 online with each other, or doing the symmetrics and stuff. It just provides that stability to create the turnover and the chances. And when you have, hungry tens there and can do quick um, fast break, 1-2 passes, and you get your chance. So I just like the build of the play. I need to see more of this. It's very encouraging. And then, yeah, I think this is Bundesliga. I think that would have been a goal for Sesko, but this is not the Bundesliga. This is the Premier League, and he just needs to be better with his chances. But it's not like it's a total miss or anything like that. So it's encouraging to see, he hit woodwork.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think if that's on his right foot, it's a different story, right? But yeah, nice in
Right.
both positions. Opportunity. We have Alicia, a great ball. This is what Alicia gives you. And again, you know, we might start off in a back four, but we do go back to our 3-4-3 moment. And what's really interesting about this, as Dallo has his shot. I'm just gonna go back. What's really funny about this is you got Dorgu and Dallo as your tens and Xerxes up front. Like Xerxes, Dorgu, and Dallo as your forward line is quite funny. Um, when you're that beat up and you don't have you got players away for Afcon, they have to be up there. But I mean, Dallo had three places to put this between the legs, to the right or to the left, and yeah, man, he's had a couple of those recently. I mean, I know he did score a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, I'm not going to blame him too much for that because he's not a natural finisher, but he seems to get in these really good positions and just missing like little bit of composure, you know. Yeah, because the wing backs, you know, in the system in Ruben's system, they get a lot of chances, and I think Dorgu before he got his goal, you know, there's been times when he could have cut back or scored, and you know he didn't do that. But yeah, like if we want to get our wing backs to the level of Nuno Mendes, like you see him for Portugal, you see him for PSG, like he's scoring and assisting, you know, or Hakimi as well. So those are the two of the best wing backs, you know, in the world. But you know, it's one can hope. What are your thoughts on this?
So a lot of people are complaining of like, oh, why is Ruben's system having your wingbacks the four and then your wingers or your tens? Like, why is he there? But like you said, personnel and then just how the way they were set up in the system here. But yeah, this is just a good grade A chance that we miss. And yes, we won 1-0, but if like Susco hit that, Delo hit this, and there was like another chance, it could have been 4-0, and this would have been a more comfortable win. And then everybody would be praising the system this, the system that, oh, Ruben got it right, whatever it may be. But it is what it is. We have to take it with a chance. But again, the system is creating chances. The players are not taking it. But, I don't see it's a fault of the system, not producing chances or anything like that. So this is all encouraging for me and how I want us to play too.
Yeah, yeah. I think see here, you know, this is Arteta's Haram ball. This is six at the back, you know, four in front, and Luke Shaw is kind of it allows Luke Shaw to come out, you know, comes out and then he comes back in, and Dallo comes in. Is actually a seven at the back. Um, so yeah, you know, Xerxes not really doing much. You know, he's checked out, man. I don't, you know, I would you have Cunha who can play as your second striker. Get rid of Xerxes. You know, I'm not really especially missing him. We can get another quality player in. I mean, if we had Semenyo, that would have been a different story. You know, allow push Cunha forward. Semenyo can go into one of the 10 positions. You know, let go of Xerxes, but no, that's looking like that's not going to happen. So yeah, I just thought it's nice to see some Haram ball. What are your thoughts?
Jose, is that you in disguise? Like this is just straight off like
Yeah.
park the bus, Jose. Throw everybody back, try to get the ball out. Like this is like classic Mourinho. That's why it's good to see him. Again, there's a lot of kids on that pitch right now that's under the age of 25. You know, Fletcher is there playing first time at Old Trafford in the senior squad. It's like we need the mentality and just to see them grind. Like this is a good foundational quote unquote win.
Yeah, no, I think this win was so important. From a defensive standpoint as well, it's I'm trying to think like what were our fixtures before? Like I think yeah, it would have been nice like let's say we had this game after Wolves, right? Then you play Bournemouth and Villa. I think this is a good defensive performance, and I think it shows that you can keep a clean sheet. But the next couple of games that we have, I don't want to see this. I want to be perfectly honest. Like I want to see attacking football where we take the game to the opposition. So yeah, very solid foundation to build off. So really nice to see. But yeah, don't expect. I'm not expecting to see this against Wolves. Like Leeds is going to be a yo-yo game. Is always is, and Burnley as well. That's just going to be a low block. So
Right.
um,
Teams fighting for their places. But thank you again, Ali, for breaking down the highlights with Y Scout. Very good. So now we'll just switch over to the stats. What does the stats really say? So again, this is the match report presented by Huddle Y Scout. Again, we're partnering them with the clips, and for this, we want to just show you the stats of like. So I kind of find it funny that in the positional map, we were pretty much playing in the 4-2-3-1, right? Which looks good because it's like you see um Ugarte and Casemiro playing close together, like I said, that's a good start. Good thing to see. We have our two center backs playing over here. And then when we go to the passing map, it kind of shows a different story. So we can see, strong two. You could say that Delo's playing a little back, so that's your quote unquote back three. And confirming that the 6 and the 8 are playing close together. You had what's his name? Shaw up on the pitch towards the halfway line. You had Dorgu inverting a little bit, coming into the middle, taking those balls out, and then you had your three and your one. So I kind of want to show the positional and then this passing map because it just shows the fluidity of the system. Lineup said 3-4-3. On the pitch, it was a 4-2-3-1 in different phases of the game. It was a 3-4-2-1, 3-4-3, whatever you want to call it. It was there, and it just shows the flexibility of Ruben's system and how we can play and adapt in different phases of the game. And that I will die on this hill, and I will continue to appreciate that stuff. 6 and an 8 playing like this will bring us stability. And once we get this in order, everything should come in play with the system, and we should start winning games the games that we're losing now or drawing should become wins, draws and wins once we get a proper 6 and an 8.
Yeah, I really like it when I'm look, we got a situation where players have gone for AFCON, we have injuries. It's not ideal, but it's what you do with it. There's always like some good that comes out of like these tragedies or these, whatever
Adversities,
acts of God
adversities,
that kind of happens because, huh?
adversities. This is
Adversities,
adversity.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, these adversities that happen, it's on one hand, it's good that Bruno's like not in this team right now because it's showing that we can keep a clean sheet when we have two players in their natural position. And yes, we have to be a bit more pragmatic, right? But if if it's 1-1 next week at Wolves and we couldn't break a team down, we're gonna be like, we miss Bruno, right? So we got to look at the positives right now, and the positive for me is a clean sheet. Like you can build around that. We have a competent keeper. I think our defense is decent, and Delict didn't play. Lovely to have Leach back there. And then just on the system, I think it's really important that these players learn how to play in the different variations of the system, whether it's back three, back five, or back four. Because what I'm seeing right now is when the opposition adapts, we struggle to adapt, and you don't want to be reactionary. You want to be assertive in how you play. You want to make the other team think. And I kind of, maybe we'll see, like, as we play, the lesser teams. Let's see how this system plays out, like in an attacking sense. It's nice to see that we can hold out a result, in a back six, because if we want to make those, European spots, like we're gonna need to close out games like this. So yeah, I think it's a good thing that we had a result like this. I don't want to get too carried away because we're gonna have to do the exact opposite in the next 3 games. But yeah, really, I'm really intrigued to see how this system is changing in game, from an attacking sense.
Right. And from the stats of like the attacking and the things of that nature, we still had the most touches in the final third. I'll get to that in a few, but just, my favorite pressing intensity in terms of we can press, we've kind of backed off in this. I don't know if it's because of the system change or if it's just because of let Newcastle play their game. But also another thing too is that this is an encouraging sign as well. And I've seen it in the past few games when teams tried to press us, we're actually getting out of the press, either going over the top, doing 1, 2, 3 passes, you know, going long ball and then getting two on the second ball. So just seeing Newcastle press us this much and then, press us this much and then we were still able to hold out on a win. We got a goal, from our own pressing. It's still encouraging to me that we can do it if the mentality is there. So something I'll look at when we play teams with the low blocks and they're not going to press us and stuff. Let's see what happens if we're going to increase the press or just like stalemate it. Like let's just be bygones, bygones, and just go from it from there. This is the final. The passes to the final third inaccurate. The reason I want to show this is because we did have a lot of touches in the final third, and created a fair number of chances. Just look where it's coming from in terms of, our center backs, two center backs, and one of our wingers 75% or 90% based on the math, because you had two 100s and then there's one missed pass from Martinez. Casemiro had one, Ugarte, 3 out of 2. But these numbers are like more than 50%. So it's like the system is there to create chances to open up to create these passes to the final third to get to the lane. So we are creating the chances. We are getting out from the back, and it's from different players, which is good to show that it's not coming from one particular area. And now that we don't have Bruno, we don't have like that quote unquote one person to do all the outlet passes to the final third. It's kind of get divvied up amongst all the players, and it's kind of good to see that we are able to do that and spread the ball out. But
Yeah, no, I think I always don't think we're a good passing team. Um yeah, I don't think we're the best passing team. And I think that's definitely somewhere where, when we do look for our new midfielders, is that like ability to pass, between the lines. And, that's why I like, you know, Warren, but, he might not solve everything we need. But yeah, just in terms of like Martinez being there, he completely, he just gave confidence to, the back four, back five, and his passing was great. And like I said, I thought Shaw had a decent game too. I thought he especially higher up, like he's got one of the best crosses, you know dare I say, in the league, man. Like when he crosses a ball, it's very accurate, and it's in a very dangerous position. So yeah, it's nice to see passing like that.
And then I think the final thing I'll show is like what you were just alluding to Shaw. Shaw being back on his
Yeah.
favorite left wing, left back role, attacking from the flanks, 47%, 14 chances with an XG of 0.57. Boom, we're back in business.
Yeah.
If we play here, I mean, I think that, yeah, that probably will probably go back into the whole narrative of if we just place everybody in their natural positions, that the results will come, the play will get better. So this may be it, maybe not. I don't know. Time will tell because we got that,
But like natural
4 more games.
positions, it goes. Yeah, I think. So I think the players' natural positions. What do you think they suit more? 4-2-3-1 or a 3-4-3?
It's a trick question because in terms of yes, the players are known can and the team is still built for a 4-2-3-1, but we've had managers playing that 4-2-3-1 and can get the best out of them. Ten Hag played with a 4-2-3-1. Ollie played with a 4-2-3-1. Jose played with a 4-2-3-1. And we all could not get to the next level. Something came changed, 3-4-3, being fluid, and I see the perks of the 3-4-3, whatever you want to call it, three in the back. I see the perks and ups and downs with it, but I just feel like we don't have the personnel for it. Especially because, like we said,
See,
Ruben's wants his midfielders and the wing backs to be, driving the going forward, etc.
yeah, I think once he gets his two midfielders, that's how we're gonna judge the system, right?
Mhm.
And it's fine because if the 3-4-3 doesn't work, you got two midfielders for the 4-2-3-1, right? And
Right.
then you've got Sesko, Mount, Cunha, and Boomer all to play those attacking positions. Um, the back three thing is just like, I don't think it doesn't necessarily bring stability, but when he plays a back six, you know, obviously that was for a specific reason, to
Right.
close the game out. But Luke Shaw is like an interesting example because he's not a centre back, so it's like, yeah, I know, like we keep we're on him, we're just like, you leave the club and all this, but when he plays left back, he's decent, He's doing what he's good at. Yeah, I don't. If he leaves tomorrow or if he leaves at the end of the season, it's fine. I think we have ample enough cover. Maybe not for a left back, because I think Dorgu is, needs to be more of a, left wing back than a left back. I don't trust Dorgu defensively just yet. But I think Aiden Heaven can play there. I think Martinez can play there. But yeah, it's just interesting to see, Luke Shaw's in his more favoured position. Ugarte, who seemed to play Ruben's system at Sporting, seemed more comfortable.
Because
Mount got, playing, in his number 10. Again, he's someone that can adapt to either one. But yeah, it's just interesting to see. We kind of went back there, and yeah,
no, I think because I think you for Ugarte is like the shoulder's not all on him to be that one guy. It's either make or break for me because we know Bruno's all the way up there, and it's like it's him. He has Unk right next to him, holding the fort down, so he has like that stability and that comfort of like, all right, I can do what I gotta do, but Unk's right there behind me to get it for me. He'll clean up my mess. And I feel like that's what he
yeah,
had at Sporting. Because I don't know if he did play with the Danish defender
Danish
Holland.
guy.
I don't know if he did play with Holland, where it was both of them doing it,
Yeah.
or or Holland was came after when Ugarte left for PSG. I can't recall, but I feel like in Ruben's system was always two of them that's like defensive and one's like that box to box that work hand in hand with each other. So I think that's what's missing. And then as I was talking about like the 4-2-3-1 between like Ali and then Jose, it's like we had Fred and McTominay in those positions, and it's like, are they really like world class 6 and 8s? No. So it's like I still think it's always been a personnel issue because I feel like if we had Nemanja Matic, a 27-year-old, 28-year-old, we might have won the league Jose's second season if he was younger because he had the legs to clean it up and do everything. So I think yes,
Yeah.
I think I'm being
No,
unfair
maybe,
to
yeah.
the previous managers just because of it still comes down to personnel.
Yeah, but they sign their own players. They sign
Right.
Pogba, whatever. They did sign players. What's interesting is I think when Casemiro leaves, we're gonna have an issue, man, of experience. Like whoever we're gonna bring in is gonna be youthful and energetic, but there's something like Casemiro. He's kind of reminding me, and I can't believe I'm saying this. He's kind of reminding me of John Terry. Like John Terry was like 90% positioning and like intelligence, and the rest was just like grit, right? But kind of like Carrick. Carrick knew where to. He didn't need to run. He just knew where to be on the pitch, and that's what Casemiro, is reminding me of this time. It's a really, really hard skill. I can't believe I'm saying this because I wanted. I was calling him Monk and all this, and we need him in the team. It's so funny. Like we didn't want him here, but he needs to be in the team. There's no one else. He's like irreplaceable at the moment because Mount can kind of cover Bruno a little bit. Cunha can kind of cover some of Bruno's gifts, but Ugarte is like a different player, like you said, when he's next to Casemiro, because
Right.
Casemiro gives you that platform to do that.
So
And yeah, when he's out of the team, we miss him. So yeah,
well, that's
it's
why
kind of
with
mad.
Casemiro that I Ruben wants him back. I think team wants him back. He just has to take a pay cut, like maybe like 100, 120 per week plus
Like
bonuses.
half his salary, isn't it?
Yeah, half a salary or less. No, no, more like about half. Maybe they go up to
Yeah.
175.
Brazil, yeah. I think the World Cup's happening. I think I think he just wants to do well with Brazil, and then I don't see him take. I see him going to Saudi, man. I think he's
Right,
earned it.
right.
And if he leaves us with Champions League football, I think that's decent signing
I
because
mean,
he's won a couple of cups.
he already paid his fee the first season because we signed him for Champions League, and we had Champions League in that one
Because
season.
that's what. Yeah. Champions League is going to be the measure, man. Because these next three games, yeah, look, we're like coming to like the middle of the season, but these
Yep.
next three games, I don't want to be seeing this meme of Ruben like wins just enough not to get fired. Like I'm not. He needs to win all three of these games. The players need to. I can't stress it enough, man. It's so imperative because it's gonna bring some stability to the team. It's gonna bring some confidence. And we don't have a good run like this, not really, for like the rest of the season. Like,
So
you know,
actually, I was going to tell you that we do
this
have
is
another soft spot in the schedule where it's like 7-ish games that you could go on a run without facing like a top six team. It's like something similar to what we're in right now, where we're facing like Villa and Newcastle in that block of 7 games. I think it's like in February into March or March into April because it's a stop and go after
no.
it's
So
like
we
it's like
see no, like 3 game. I'm talking three. We're playing 3 games against the
uh, yeah,
like
yeah,
really not impressive teams, man. Like like we, you know, yeah, in February, what it's like West Ham, Everton, Palace, but that's Palace. Then it's Newcastle. Palace and Newcastle are good teams. Everton's
right,
a good team.
right.
But this is why I just think like these three, and yeah, just start with Wolves. Let's just take it 1 game at a time. You know, Wolves low block. I think Sesko is going to be key here. Sesko is going to be key to any low block that we face. It's going to be against Burnley. It's going to be against Wolves. The intensity needs to be there from the beginning. Crosses into the box. Cunha needs to be provider. I think he needs to be the creative. Like he needs to be passing, and yeah, I think against Leeds, I can see Cunha be like be a bit more selfish. The game is going to be end to end. Yeah, I want to see Cunha be the creative, like, you know, artist.
Pick a side
Sesko,
for
man, Sesko needs to great to see him get, you know, go on a run. You know, what did you say?
for Cunha to pick a side.
Pick a side, yeah, man. Pick a side ball. Yeah, I just wanted to pass. I want him to pass the ball. You know, he keeps taking these really weird 30, 25 yard shots. Like P rollers. I'm just like, what are you doing, man? Yeah, he's just against a low block. He can progress the ball, but he then needs because then he attracts players to him. You then gotta pass the ball off, and then that's when Sesko's quick feet comes in to play. He needs to
Mhm.
one touch, two touch, and then pass it off, and allow somebody else to, you know, like a Dorgu or, you know, if Mount's available, even Casemiro, allow them to get a shot. But yeah, man, it's like I want to enjoy these next 3 games, but it's just like it's so
It's
important
Manchester
to the
United.
season because it's like we got City and Arsenal after that, man. That's yeah, that's. I mean, like if we can get the defense right and we get Mbumo back, you know, Mbumo's so key because on in the counter attack he's devastating. Like Ahmad, I don't mind not having Ahmad, but we need Mbumo back, man, because
So I kind of disagree with
we
that.
can be defensive, really.
No, you're totally right about Brian, 100%. But it's Ahmad. Because I like how Ahmad's very direct. He could take the ball, from the line and come in. He'll track the players, but then he could get somebody who's either in the box or top of the box, and he either, they shoot it or progress the ball out to get a better shot. I feel like we miss his directness in those like danger area, those corner between the lines of the line and the box to just go down, put his head down, and just go forward. I feel like we don't have that
Yeah.
with Delo. We have that with Dorgu, but it has to be like the right ball, or not every moment he's going down to the line being direct. So it's like I feel like that's what we're missing with Ahmad not being on the team against a low block.
Yeah, I think for me, Ahmad, yeah, you're totally right. Like he does that. For me, the difference is Mbumo is more efficient and Ahmad just doesn't have that efficiency. You're completely right though. He drives, he puts his head down, but then he's one of these players that when he does his close dribbling, it's like 50-50 if he's gonna get past the player or not. But with Mbumo, he'll take one touch, two touch, and then it's gone. He's either gonna take a shot or he's passing it. And yeah, yeah. I just the other thing is pace. I think Mbumo's like a lot quicker. I think he's devastating on the counter attack. And when you're playing against City and Arsenal, like you want that threat. I think defenders would rather face Ahmad than Mbumo. That's how I would see it.
That's fair.
But yeah, we're definitely gonna. I want them back. I want them back. Yeah.
So it was a pleasure talking with you today. This was a great breakdown of everything with regards to Newcastle. We'll take it 1 game at a time. against Wolves. Then what is it, Leeds afterwards on the weekend. So Ali and I will have to discuss in terms of our scheduling. But basically, I think most likely it's going to be a combined video of Leeds and Wolves, or maybe if Wolves ends up to be like a clean game like Newcastle one, maybe we could get it in before Leeds on the weekend. But either or, you will have more content for you. So again, like, subscribe, drop us a comment. Let us know what you like, what we can improve on, etc. But it was a great conversation to have. United back, hopefully back in the driver's seat to Champions League football. As Ali would say, I still think we might be in a title race still. We have not been mathematically eliminated just yet. No quick maths here with regards to that. So
Oh my
anything can
God.
happen. Final thoughts, Ali.
Yeah, man. Just go out and win the game against Wolves. Yeah, let's take it one game at a time. I think it's constantly, an ever-changing picture of the league table. We just want to get away from the pack. And then I think when the players look at the league position and they're slightly away from the pack, I think it's going to give them more confidence. And if the team's win these next 3 games, and then you get Ahmad and Mbuma back, that's a good prospect. But yeah, let's take this one step at a time. You never know with
Think
United. I'm thinking
yeah,
about that guy's hair too much, man. He needs a trick. This
he
is
needs a haircut back.
as clear as anything. But I could see us then like lose to Brighton. And it's just like all for the FA Cup, I think he's counting FA Cups, right? I'm pretty sure he's
Yes,
counting FA
it's
Cups.
5 games overall. So 5 games overall, 5 in a row. So it doesn't matter what it is. So
Like professional games, yeah,
yeah,
not friendly. So
right.
yeah.
All right,
But
everyone.
yeah,
So it was a
man,
pleasure
that guy
talking to
needs to
everyone.
trim his hair, man.
Yeah, trim his hair. Dude, I can't stand it, that afro. Or it's like his little ponytails and stuff. It's like, no, come on. Win it for him. Instead of
Ready for
Ruben,
him?
like
Seriously?
how in All for Nothing, Arteta brings out the light bulb. Ruben should bring out the guy's
Oh
photo
my
like on a
god.
poster and be like, do
Yo,
it for him. Do it for him.
for him. No,
Or
if we
you know
get
what?
to Brighton, he needs to. Yeah.
Or freaking bring him into the club and give him a speech like how the Arsenal kitman did it. It's like, this is my effing club.
Wow.
Let them do that. Yeah. Get this boy his haircut.
Uh,
Oh man. But anyways, it's a pleasure, everyone. We'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.
yeah.